I'm going to
Okay,
record.
sure.
Okay, I'm going to record this session, and for anybody watching this video right now, the what we're going to do here is we're going to explore how to start a process and how to actually create a idea. So specifically, we're going to look at the top of funnel in the employee journey at the layer of awareness. So during this next hour, we're going to be exploring what specific channels can we implement in an innovative way so that we can get a targeted audience of applicants to apply for full-time jobs and also internships here at Bukit Vista. So I'm going to be showing you a few techniques that will hopefully guide your thought process on how to use the structure that is present in the HR chapter, but also explore how to be creative and to think creatively on that too as well. What I would like for takeaways at the very end is that you feel empowered and you feel confident about how you can communicate effectively with different parties and persuade them to carry your message to their audience as well, right? So a lot of this is related to a few themes. One, I think, is just being organized and having a good conscientious approach to your work method. Two is really understand communication strategy. So understanding essentially what is the correct message to the correct audience at the correct time and through the correct channel. Okay, and being very conscious of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. The first thing I'd like to bring everyone through is this document right here. Okay, so this is the HR library references, and you should be able to see this on your screen. The thing I want you to pay attention to is essentially this is where every journey before you begin work should begin. Why do we do that? The important thing is that you do not reinvent a wheel, right? So let's say you're going around and you're working on some outreach, but you're doing a practice that was discovered, let's say, a year ago that didn't work, right? For you, it's fairly logical to do this, but we've already determined through experience that this practice isn't as good as something else that we could be doing. So we don't want you to kind of repeat that mistake and not be successful. We want to empower you with the best practices possible. So definitely always begin here, right? And look for documentation that might help you. Now, this is organized already into different sections that are relevant depending upon what part of the employee journey you work on. So in our particular case today, we're going to be looking at the top of funnel, and this is where outreach happens and PR happens too at the same time. Okay, so a few things we can take a look at. So we know essentially, we know some universities mapping, for Khan, this kind of actually answers. A few of our questions, actually, which is what universities do we currently target and what is our relationship with them? As you can see here, there's already a list of all these different universities and contact people that we have at these universities, right? All these people have received essentially messages from us, and I think the result of that relationship has been stated in the past outcomes, right? So don't forget about these people. These are your bread and butter. And these relationships are really easy to ask for distribution because we have them already. So this is one of the things of instead of reinventing the wheel, we can just use an existing process that's already here. So in addition to that, there's all this great content that has already been created. And it's on this document as well. So you can just take a look at this content, and there is essentially a pitch deck. And the way that you can present this is you can either send this as an email, or more effectively, you can ask for a video meeting and present the pitch deck, and that generally has a stronger connection and understanding with the university partner, right? So that's one of the things that we have in the library. The next thing that we have in the library is we even have we even have a job description for people who actually do this, right? Sorry. This is actually an outreach letter and contact profiles. Okay, so this essentially is a template for your progress, right? If you're, let's say, reaching out to different universities, there's already a template here, and this is what you can use to essentially build your case. There is an outreach letter, and there is essentially a template of who you have reached out to. I'm not sure what CP means, but what is essentially the status, and this gives you a worksheet to build and think about how to distribute. So okay, this is a helpful aid too as well. Okay, let's see, what else do we have? We have a few documents that are a little bit outdated, and they've been marked as outdated. So you can use it for reference, but we're really just looking for maybe a better solution to some of these more outdated things, right? Let's see, what else is pretty interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and this document you might need from time to time. Some of our partners, they ask for business documentation before they can send interns our way. So this is a very helpful document that has all our business registration information there. So you can take a look at that. And there's also signature templates as well. Okay, before I go any further, are there any questions so far about how to use this library to find information that you need?
Um, so far so good. But I found it interesting in Bukit Vista University's mapping document.
Mhm.
There's already a lot of contact information.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it? So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's already a lot of university information here for Khan, but there's also more here and also here and also here, right? There's quite a lot of additional documentation as well that you can definitely use to expand. Yeah, like this, for example, we have contacts with all these different universities already. Okay, so when you need an idea, this is why it's so important, everyone, to keep track of the timing of your distribution, because even though these people have been contacted, let's say you want to distribute again, maybe you need to know how much time has passed, right? If these people, let's say this contact has been contacted in Vietnam 3 months ago, then it might be a good time to contact them again, right? Because it could start a new discussion. But let's say this contact was contacted 3 days ago, maybe not such a good idea then to ask somebody who's already been asked. Okay, so this documentation will definitely allow you to track and give you some ideas that are already there. Okay, so as you can see, for the most part, we've done a very extensive job at contacting. Okay, we can add a column to give information. Yes, correct. Who said that? Sorry, the whereby really drops everybody's. Wait, let me see.
That's Latifa.
Oh, okay, Latifa. Oh, okay, that's why. Okay, Latifa. Yes, we have a column here. Actually, we have a document here on active job posting, Latifa. And what you should be able to see on the active job posting is when this has actually been contacted. Okay, so like over here, there's essentially a date now that we've put on this panel. I would expect everybody to use this document, okay, for contacting universities. Why? Because that coordinates everybody's work. If you each have your own lists of who you contacted, after a while you might be contacting the same institutions again, right? Just through different email accounts. Okay, that's not necessarily very effective. Okay, so definitely take a look and think about how to coordinate this. You can take um, these past things as inspiration, right? So you can get together some people that we've contacted already, but don't use this as essentially a way of tracking the work. Okay, use this only for inspiration, but not for actually tracking the work, because we want to keep all the activity on this sheet, please, right? The active job postings. That's where the team can coordinate. Okay, everyone got that? Okay. All right, great. Okay, so let's then go through the process now. The next part I'd like to explain is how, right? How do we come up with new distribution ideas? Okay. All right, so that's going to be a new document, and please also pay attention to what I'm doing here. So whenever I create a new piece of learning, I don't want that learning to be lost. Okay, so I don't want that piece of information to be orphaned. Let's say, for example, Latifa. Let's say after 2.5 months of being here, or maybe 2 months of being here, there's a new PR intern. Okay, brand new, fresh as you are today, coming into the chapter. Now, 2 months from now, you're going to be a PR wizard, right? You're going to know all kinds of little tricks and ways of getting people's attention. You're going to be a persuasive queen. You'll have people like begging to get their interns into Bukit Vista, but that's because you've already learned all the best practices. And the new people coming in here, well, they're going to be starting from scratch, right? So you kind of like don't want them to like get lost and then you have to coach them and tell them, no, no, don't do this mistake, don't do that mistake. You want them to always start their journey here, right? Always start their journey here so that they build on what you've learned rather than having to start from the beginning, go through all the mistakes and basically not positively transforming as much and not inspiring as much to life. So this is a way that you can leave your legacy by creating this, but always attach it to the HR library. All right, so let's explore this topic. Now that we've attached it to the HR library, let's kind of go into detail. Let's put in some topics. Oops, okay. Let's put in some topics, and let's put in the things that we want to. Sorry, I'm excited, so I'm typing a little bit too fast. Topics and discussion. And one thing we want to always keep in mind is what is our communication strategy, right? So let's go to Lalita. Lalita, what are the 4 things that we need to think about in communication strategy?
It has to have right audience.
Okay.
It needs to have the right time and also the right channel and what is it? The right audience, the right time. I think I forget the other one. Sorry.
Think hard. Okay,
Um,
let's go to Latifa. Latifa, what is Lalita missing? One more thing.
Right message.
Right messaging. Okay, very good. Okay, never forget that because this is one thing I want you guys to really take in. This is power. Okay, this is power. Why is this power? As you all know right now, you're probably sitting in front of a computer. You're probably not actually going to an actual office to work. You're not meeting with real clients. You're sort of in front of your machine right now. But yet we're still working, right? We're still able to get work done. So what is it that we actually control? Well, we control who we talk to. We control what we say to them. We control when we say something to them, and we control how we want to say it, right? Do we use a video call? Do we use Slack? Do we use Dropbox Paper? Do we use whatever? So, um, this is your way to feel empowered. This is how you control the world through your communication. Okay. It is, in fact, the only thing that most of us can actually do right now. We can't go and physically move anything. We cannot necessarily go and create something that is in the real world because we're sort of like all work or remote. But this is essentially something that is the toolbox of what you're going to do, especially if you're doing PR and communications and awareness and marketing activities. Okay. So this is where you need to focus on, and this is where you need to master. It might seem fundamental, even like, yeah, that's obvious, right? But it takes actually a long time to get the right combination right. Okay. You might have the right audience, you have the wrong timing. You might have the right timing, but you have the wrong message. So to really get each part right and have your message resonate, that takes practice and that takes mastery. And what I'm hoping is by the end of your internships, you will all have mastered this so that you can do amazing things, right? You can get people to publish articles about you in major newspapers. You can get, let's say, a very famous speaker to come and give a talk to a huge audience of students, right? Which is something that we've done before too. Okay, all right. So let's definitely keep this strategy in mind when we do our work, and I will put this right up at the top so that it stays right there. Okay, now here's the kind of the main topic, which is how do we actually pick a list of potential people to distribute to. Okay, so we have a message right now that we've crafted I believe Iron has actually created that, right? There's a guest message and a university. No, wait, sorry. What am I saying? There's a student group message template, and then there's a professor template. Am I correct, Iron?
Yes, Mr. Jing, we have the template.
Perfect. All right. Just to make my life easier, could you send me that template on? Oh, even better, actually. I'll let you. I'll send this link to you, the HR library, and you put it where you think it belongs. Actually, okay. And that way it can become a reference. Okay. So, Iron, when you do that, after you finish putting it, just let me know, and I'll stop it and I'll take a look at the library to see where you put it to check if it's been put in the right place. Okay. All right. So we have a message already that we've crafted, and hopefully that message covers avoids all the common mistakes, right? We have a call to action. It's concise. It has shows and doesn't tell. And what's the fourth thing? Let's see. Let's go to Latifa again. What are the four common mistakes that we can have in messaging, and what what should we avoid?
What I can remember is first, we don't concise when we deliver the message,
Okay.
and then we deliver. We don't differentiate the features and what is it? The features and like what is our purpose and what is the benefits of what we offer to them, to
Mhm.
our partner.
Mhm.
And then what else? I forget the two others.
Okay.
Perhaps Lalita
Lalita,
can help me.
help Latifa.
Okay, so call to action.
Mhm.
And also, you said it earlier. What is it? Message, call to action, feature suspend. Oh, what is it? Tell. Do not only tell but show.
Yes, correct. Good job. Okay, so between Lolita and Latifa, you guys got it. All right, call to action, Lolita. Should we be casual or should it have some sense of urgency?
I guess it has to be. It has to have some sense of urgency so that people would reply faster.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so you guys got it. Those are the four common mistakes, and hopefully, Iron's message actually encompasses that. But we're not here specifically to talk about the right message. We're going to assume that the right message is already been sent. Okay, so we're here to more talk about what is the right audience and actually understand maybe what is the right timing and perhaps also the right channel. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to create a table and let's go ahead and get some brainstorming down, right? So this is our audience, this is our timing, and whoops, okay, let's put our next thing, and this is the channel. Okay, so we're gonna and then let's put some comments here on this side. So this is where we can actually kind of brainstorm. But before we brainstorm, let's think top level. Okay, Mr. Furkan, how would you begin on picking out an audience of potential people that we could distribute to?
Okay, so in my opinions, yes, maybe I said earlier in Scrum or yeah, anything else. So maybe we could start to track down our past or current interns and
Ah,
see where they were belong earlier before joining Bukit Vista. And yeah, maybe that's one of a kind that we could find our right or targeted audience.
excellent. Okay. All right. For everyone here, Mr. Furkan has actually given us an idea. This is what is called a look-alike audience. Let's go to Iron. Iron, what does a look-alike audience mean?
Lookalike audience is where the audience that we already get can like sending our message to like their organizations or maybe club or maybe the same audience like them.
Not exactly. Not exactly. It's not an audience that we already have, right? It's a little bit more refined. Okay. I think you're on the right path, but it needs to be refined a little bit. Let's go to Latifa. Latifa, how would you refine what Iron just said? What is a look-alike audience?
Perhaps it is our potential audience that we have this that have a similarity characteristic with
Mm,
our.
okay.
previous
Yes,
audience.
the potential audience that has similar history, attributes, something in common, right, with our current audience. Okay. So, all right, it's not necessarily an audience that we already have. Okay. Let's say, for example, let's say for Khan, where did you go to school?
President University.
Okay.
Same with Iron.
Okay. So, okay. All right. Yeah, great. You guys are both from the same school. Now, we don't necessarily have that university as an audience yet, right? Okay. Maybe a little bit kind of. We've distributed a job there, but we don't really have, let's say, a in-depth attention, right? We're not famous at President University yet, but this idea of a lookalike audience is really powerful. Okay, it means that we are being more targeted, okay, in our approach, and this is also a very fundamental concept. You want to be targeted in your approach. You do not want to bring a lot of people to potentially apply who do not have the right skill fit, who do not have the right culture fit, and make middle funnel super busy screening people out, right? That isn't a delightful experience. So you want to be targeted. And one of the easiest way to be deliberately targeted is just look for a lookalike audience. I'm going to bring you guys through a simple exercise of how I would find a lookalike audience, okay? So let's say, for example, so let's extend on what Furkan just said, right? So he said using an existing audience here at Bukit Vista. So I think we can already understand how to do that. So let's say Furkan went to President University. Furkan, what is your major?
Management.
Okay. What kind of management?
Human resource.
Oh, okay. Human resource management at President University. All right. And so far, Furkan is doing a good job. So, okay, we can go back to the human resource department at President University and ask, hey, would you allow us to do a guest lecture? Hey, would you allow us to talk about Furkan's internship at this university? Hey, would you want to actually have a discussion about modern human resources in the era of the pandemic through the lens of remote working, right? And they probably would say, sure, why not, right? Come and give us a talk. We'll be happy to, entertain industry experience here. And that is how we can then target more people, let's say like Furkan, for the next batch of interns, right? And then we would have perhaps a good fit, like Iron and Furkan here, okay? So that would be an example of how we would use a lookalike audience to save time, be very directed and targeted to find our audience. Let me show you another way we can use, let's say, a lookalike audience, okay? So let's say I'm looking for somebody to lead my marketing team, okay? I want a strong person to lead my marketing team. How would I find that person, okay? So let's go, let's just go and start from LinkedIn, right? Let's say I don't know anything. I'll look at, let's say, Gojek marketing leaders, right? So I search for that on LinkedIn. And maybe I find, okay, here's Claristi, here's Mohammed, senior vice president of international marketing. Okay, that sounds like pretty strong there. Another marketing manager, head of growth marketing. Okay, all right, good. So I have a few people here, and let's try to find where we can find their lookalike audiences. Okay, so here, Claristi, she's a growth marketing manager at Gojek. Okay, so one thing I see that she went to UI. Okay, so I know that if I look for a growth marketing manager, I can probably target the University of Indonesia. But is that really that targeted? Population of University of Indonesia. Okay, let's see. What is the population? 47,000 people. Okay, 47. Do I really want 47,000 applicants? Can I get more targeted than that? Let's go to Latifa.
Sorry, can you repeat your question, sir?
Right. So the question is, should I target just the university, or should I try to narrow my target?
No, because there's a specific major that has a good marketing
Exactly.
major in there.
Perfect. All right. Let's not assume, actually, Latifa, maybe this person didn't even study marketing at all, right? Maybe they studied something else, actually, and then wound up into marketing. But let's take a look and see where we would go, okay? So let's kind of trace back Clarista's career. And okay, so she worked at Gojek right now. She's there for 5 months. She worked at Shopee before, and then before that at Luno, and then before that as a PR. And okay, let's see. So this person did not actually study marketing. They studied public relations and communication science, right? Okay, interesting. And let's take a look at what else they did. They were in English Debate Society. They were in Keluarga Mahasiswa Buddhist, okay, and Fisipers. Okay. Does anybody know what Fisipers is? No?
I guess
I
club or visit.
Yeah, I think it's like a Periscope.
Periscope.
Like journalistic club.
Okay. All right. That's a really good sign, right? So people who are into journalism might be good potential marketing fit, right? Because what is marketing after all? It's storytelling, right? So it kind of has like an interact with that. And she's in a debate society, which means that she's probably learning how to be persuasive too as well, right? Okay, so now I have essentially 3 targets I can target, okay? So let's say I am, oh wait, let's go ahead and put the role here, right? So we know what what specific we're trying to target. Let's say we're trying to target a marketing manager role, okay? For growth marketing, okay? Growth marketing. Okay, so I have a potential fit, right? I have UE, public policy. Let's see, what is it? Whoops, sorry. Did I just close her LinkedIn? Okay,
Public communication, I guess.
right. Thank you very much. Okay, so public communication.
Public relation.
Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna copy paste.
PR.
I can't copy paste. Oh, PR, communication science. Okay, so thank you very much. UE, PR, and communication science. Okay. Okay, a major is a pretty big faculty, right? There might be a lot of people in it and such, but I want to do better, right? I want to actually, I want to be even more targeted. So let's go and take a look at this. There's an employee Maslow pyramid. Okay, and I want you guys to understand this as well. Okay. This is a Maslow pyramid. I'm sure everybody here probably knows what a Maslow pyramid needs. It's a hierarchy of needs, okay? For, let's say, an employee, somebody who's looking for work, there's essentially 3 layers. First layer is money. You need money to survive. The second layer is this idea of loyalty, of career, recognition, and that's the middle layer. And the highest layer is when you have a calling. You have a purpose in the work you do, and that's when you become kind of like personally transformed, right? We definitely at Bukit Vista want to hire people with a sense of purpose and pursue callings, okay? And at very least career. We don't want to hire people who just want to pursue just money, right? It's okay to have money as a concern, but we want you to also have like other ambitions in your transformation development. That's what we mean by being positively transformed. All right. So what then specifically, Lolita, would indicate that this person might have a calling?
What indicate them have a calling is that she keeps on finding new experiences because she wants to transform more
Okay.
to be better.
Okay. But what else indicates that this person might have a calling tendency? Let's go to Latifa.
I think their consistency to pursue the same role,
Very
job,
good. Very
like
good.
marketing
Yep.
or yeah.
PR marketing. So they stayed in one lane because they're developing themselves in that lane, right? This is not a person who's lost and doesn't know what they want to do with their life. Okay, very good. But let's be even more specific. All right, do you see anything else that might indicate this person has a calling?
From their skills and endorsements,
Okay,
and also their organizations.
okay, very good. So they have skills and endorsements there. Very good. But what else? What else can we? Where can we go to find more people like Clarista? Let's put it that way, right? Or Claristi. Where can we go, Aaron, to find more people like her? Okay, let's go to Furkan.
Um, I guess. I guess we should. If we want to meet people like her, we should track down another activities and societies that
Very good.
she's joining.
Excellent. Okay. So English Debate Society and FISIPers are a pretty good indication that this person has calling tendency. And this is why I would think so. Okay. You don't need to join any debate society in college, right? That's a choice. That's on top of doing all your regular schoolwork. So that's a person making a let's say, an extracurricular decision on what they want to do. Okay, you don't need to join FISIPers as part of your requirements. That's also a choice. An indication that somebody is making a choice to sort of build a particular skill or idea, that is usually a good sign of a calling. If a person's just doing the bare minimum, then that's an indication of somebody who is pursuing, let's say, a job, right? Or just interested in financial pursuit. So this is a potential audience where you can find people who have calling fit and skill fit, right? And those are kind of like the places we want to go to. Okay, so um, also there might be another piece of information here. This Seoul National University that she went on an exchange program. We might have to ask ourselves: is it easy to get accepted into this program, right? And is it, does that actually indicate maybe excellence in your studies or your motivation, right? This person have capacity and understanding and motivation. It might. Um, let's go to Furkan. What do you think about that? Do you think people who necessarily go to study abroad programs in good schools, does that indicate anything about what we need to know about them?
Yeah. Um, it's quite tricky, but personally, I myself argue that having a good skills doesn't really mean that you have a good skills or
Mhm.
requirements to perform certain roles. So yeah, I don't necessarily think that good universities really are guaranteed to that.
Okay, the question is more the exchange program, right? What does somebody going on an exchange program tend to tell you about that person?
Okay, okay. If I guess the YCS exchange program is it's more into the personality.
Mhm.
It could tell one's personality is a really self-learner are growing have a growing mindset. So that's a good fit for our company persona.
Okay, it could be, right? An exchange program, I think, is at very least a expansion of your current capacity, right? And it actually involves somebody who has left their comfort zone. Certainly, going to a different country, different culture, different weather, different food. This definitely is something that will stretch most people's comfort zone, right? So I think this actually could be a good indication of a potential to seek a growth mindset and perhaps self-learning. So there could be something also there too as well, right? There could be something about foreign exchange programs. Okay. Okay. All right. Now you have an objective, right? Now you have, okay, all right, for this particular role, you have found one, two, three, four particular audiences that you can target. Okay. Timing. You might need to understand essentially when the internship cycle is, right? For a particular thing. Maybe for clubs, or let's say if you're timing a major, you maybe need to know the school calendar. Okay. Um, it might not make sense to ask for interns at the very beginning of a school academic year. I guess it depends on the program. Maybe some interns do it. Let me ask Latifa. Latifa, what time of year does your university allow internships? Is it year round, or is it summer, or is it during holidays, or can you do it at the same time as you are studying?
Okay, so in UI, we are encouraged to have a summer internship after the sixth semester to when we want to enter the seventh semester. So
Ah, okay.
mostly people looking for summer internship in that time.
Okay, understood. Okay, and Lalita, what about your school? Is it a similar policy or different?
Um, for other major, yes, it is the sixth semester. But for me, I'm not obligated to join any internship.
Okay, so you can do any time. Is that pretty
So
much
yeah, we can do anytime.
okay? All right. So some schools are in the summer, some schools are anytime. What about Furkan and Iran? What is the policy at present?
Okay, for President University, we are encouraged to join internship by May.
Oh, okay. Furkan froze up. Let's go to Iron. Same. May.
Actually, from March until August, actually, in
Ah,
summer internships.
okay. March until August. Okay. Very good. Okay, so that's great, right? Basically, that means that that is the time. If we want to get March interns, we should probably start preparing messages in maybe January and February, right? Since it does run for a while, there's a little bit of openness and space there. That's for schools. Okay, let's say for clubs. When do you think, let's say, Mr. Furkan, welcome back. When do you think that is the best time to approach a club to approach them to make aware that their members have internship opportunities? Mr. Furkan?
Oh, sorry,
Mhm.
sorry. Okay, so in my opinion, the club, which one is related to the which one is related, especially is related to the university, follows the university agenda. So yeah,
Ah, okay.
it
All those
to
university.
the
Okay. 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 All right. And foreign exchange programs, right? Now, this is interesting, right? So we can target, let's say, the UE foreign exchange program, right? And ask, okay, do you have any candidates who are going abroad? Or we can also look at inbound foreign candidates who might be interning in Indonesia or coming to Indonesia, right? So is there a specific timing? Let's go to, I don't know, Lolita. Lolita, do you believe that there's a specific timing that might be good for foreign exchange programs?
For exchange program, I do not know about it, but I think if I'm not mistaken, I see it on Latifa link into.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Latifa can help.
Let's go to Latifa. Latifa, what do you know about the foreign exchange program and when is the best time?
Okay.
Mhm.
So in my university for the exchange program, we have two times for winter exchange and like a summer exchange or like a spring exchange.
Okay.
So but mostly people go in the spring exchange. So around February to June
Oh,
or July like
okay.
that.
Great. Okay, so if we want to target foreign exchange, right, then we might need to act a little bit earlier. It also could mean this, though, everyone. It could mean that, let's say, um, it could mean that we don't necessarily target somebody on exchange programs, but it's just that we target that club or we target people who are in that program to be aware that we offer internships, right? And I think we have a fairly international crew now from different countries, so that could also be interesting for somebody who has had a foreign travel abroad experience. Great. Okay, so we're making some progress in, yeah? We're kind of understanding a little bit more about our potential target audience. Let's go to the channel. School. Let's go to Furkan. Furkan, what do you think is the best channel to reach a school?
in my opinion, the certain specific major
Hmm.
that is related
Well,
could be
what channel? How do we communicate with that major?
staff, professor, the staff, the staff major or professor in the major, lecturer.
All right. Oh, okay. So that actually is a little bit more related to the audience then, right? We can communicate with professors and the, let's say, administration staff, right? Okay. How do we
Mm.
communicate with them? Do we do we
Uh,
send them smoke signals? Do we bounce a laser off a satellite? How do we communicate with them?
Simply hit them with the email. I guess would
Okay,
be
email.
best.
What if they don't respond to the email?
Pardon?
Or what if they don't respond to the email? How should we follow up?
Mm, it's pretty interesting. If you don't have any contact channel or contact information of that related professor or staff,
Mhm.
uh, them, and maybe I don't know, maybe stating any certain urgency subject.
Okay.
It's
Let's keep on thinking about this. Let's go to Iron. Is email enough, or should we follow up email with something else if we really want to get their attention?
If we want to outreach to the specific professors or maybe teacher, we can use WhatsApp
Okay.
or
Email
maybe
with
directly to the university website.
okay. All right, and also maybe drop a message. Okay. Into okay. Never put a form in, or do we do forms actually, Iran? Do we fill out contact forms? University contact forms, right? Okay.
Yes.
Do they ever get back to us?
Somehow yes,
Okay.
by email
Okay, good,
actually.
good, good. Okay. Generally, I have a prejudice that forms nobody responds to, but I guess universities might be a little bit different about that. Okay, so that's a good sign. All right. Email with a WhatsApp follow up is generally pretty good. Even better is probably email with a phone call follow up. I know you guys are all like um, phone call follow up. I know you guys are all like Gen Z and millennials and probably Gen Z everyone by now, and you don't use a phone. But a lot of older people use phones, and that is their primary way. Like think of people in their 50s. They're probably using phone calls most of the time if they want to get something done. Think of it this way. All right. Um, you're newly arrived in the city, okay, and you need to let's say you need to rent an apartment, okay, quickly. You're probably not going to use WhatsApp, right? You're probably not going to, you're probably going to call a few people who have a place available and figure out what to do because you have urgency, right? You need to get this thing done, and you want somebody who is also going to reply to you quickly, so that you can, not waste time with people who are gonna tell you no, there's no vacancy here, right? So you're probably going to use a phone to get that done. Let's say you're going to start a business, right? So you're going to contact people who can supply you. So you want to open a warung, so you're going to contact people who can supply you with food. You need to get started, right? Probably not going to use email because it might take weeks or months or whatever. So you're probably going to just pick up the phone and call, and whoever answers the phone is a person that you want to do business with, right? Because at least you can contact them. So a phone is actually pretty good. I know if you guys, I'm really good on the phone. I'm a telephone wizard. I wasn't always that way, but it took a while, and I built that skill up. And you can, I swear to God, you can get 10 times more done using a phone call, and it's 10 times faster. So definitely take that as an idea. And if you're nervous about doing a phone call, just ask me to be on that phone call. I'll show you how it's done, and it's super fun. Yeah, and you can master the phone call, and you can definitely convert faster that way. If you're working on PR, the phone is your friend. Okay, if you work in PR, the phone is your friend. If you do not use a phone, it is like going into a fight with one hand tied behind your back. Okay, so if you work in PR, the phone is definitely your friend. You should be on the phone all day long. If you work in PR, you should be always calling people, asking them what they think, because that's how you build relationships. And public relations is all about relationships with other people. It's really hard to build a relationship with somebody that you only text. Am I right? Latifa, what do you think about that? Do you have meaningful relationships with people that you only text?
Yeah, I think we if we just use the message like sometimes like people perhaps don't read the message because there are too much message on their phone, right?
That's right.
So we just use the call for a while, and I think like it's also effective for me as a student as well. Like I believe that I can get something done quickly when I call my friends.
Perfect. So you get it, right? Look, everybody who's working in PR, Aaron, Lolita, Latifa, you're going to have to get over this if you're not comfortable with phone calls, you really need to get comfortable with phone calls, right? You will be able to get 10 times things more done on a phone call. One, yes, Latifa said exactly right. You don't develop relationships with people that you only text with. They're kind of like like a Gojek driver, right? Do you actually develop a meeting with? You just text them. You never hear their voice. You never really even, is this a real person or is this a bot? And plus, I mean, text message is cheap right now. You don't even need to come up with your own message. You just send these, okay, all right, I'm here. So it's not very personal. Okay. So definitely use the phone. If you need money for a phone call, let me know. I'll reimburse your phone calls. Okay. So that we can definitely make more phone calls. Okay. Email is good, but phone call to follow up gets you a higher conversion rate. Next, let's talk about clubs. Now, this is interesting. What is the best channel to reach a club? Let's go to Iron. What do you think?
For clubs itself, mostly by email, but some clubs doesn't have like emails. I think we can like using forecast idea, which if we have like assets that like have the exact or direct clubs that we want to outreach, we can ask them to distribute the post.
Okay. So these are for clubs we already know, right? But what if it's for a club that we don't already? Yes. Okay. Social media. Latifa, tell me more about that.
Yeah, from my experience involved in student organizations, it's more effectively when you contact them through social media like Instagram or perhaps office up, because all of the organizations have one person to take care of their social media, so we can contact them more
Ah,
fast.
excellent. Okay, very good. So you have clarified the audience a little bit. Who should we address our messages to in these clubs?
Perhaps the if we it depends on the clubs. If you want to create an event like with them, or like you just want them to share your job posting,
Mhm.
just like contact the PR of the organization. I believe that every organization, student organization, have their own PR. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Is there a way for somebody to contact Bukit Vista's PR group? Okay, I just realized that we don't have a PR page. Right? Wait, let me check real quick. Let me make sure that if somebody wants to contact us for PR purposes, they'll be able to do so. Okay. Let me check. Oh my God. No. Oh my God. Contact us maybe. Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah. Well, I'm waiting for this. Iron, do we have the your template posted in the HR library yet?
Yes, I already put it into the communications part.
Okay. Very good.
The
Perfect. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at that while we wait for this page to load. Oh, okay. We do have PR. Okay. PR at bukitvistabali.com. Does anybody have access to that account yet?
not yet, Mr.
No.
Jing. I think Sheila's got it.
Okay.
The access.
Okay. Iron, Latifa, and Lalita, and even Furkan, please get access from it. Okay. You guys will be using that as your outbound messaging, because that will improve your conversion rate, because it is much more official looking than a Gmail account. Okay. We are cheapskates here at Bukit Vista. We don't want to pay for Gmail at whatever a month, because there's actually no difference from getting a free account. But no, I'm kidding. Our CTO just decided it wasn't a good use of company money to work on that. So that's why you have general Gmail accounts, right? I apologize for that. But anyways, when you do outgoing emails, please use either PR or careers. It certainly helps make your messages look a lot more official. And plus, there's a cool feature, right? You can put this in your own email, but in the official Bukit Vista emails, there is, give me a second, it's going to show up. There is, ta-da! Okay, this footer. This footer I actually got from somebody else from PR, right? So this other person sent me something, and I realized this is a good example of okay, what is this a good example of not committing which common mistake? Let's go to Furkan. What is the purpose of this footer right here?
Okay, the first it tells the credential of where you come from or what they're representing,
Uh-huh.
and the second it's it shows don't tell.
Yes,
Listen.
precisely right, Mr. Furkan. You're correct. The footer here is an example of show, don't tell, right? So if you are coming to me to ask for, let's say, a partnership, show me what you've done, right? Then I don't have to like wonder, are you really a legitimate person or not? So this is all the publications that we've done in the past, our career page, a YouTube video of what our offices look like, so that anybody who is looking for credentials, they can find them. You can put this on your own personal email, doesn't matter. But anyways, this is available at the PR email and also in the careers email, right? And I want you guys to have access to that. The three ladies there, and Furkan, yeah, Furkan's not a lady, but okay, everyone over here, please get access to at least the PR email, okay? I want you guys to use that for all your outbound email, okay? All right, great. Let's go take a quick look at where Iron has put the top funnel and where can I find it, Aaron?
Improving outreach communications.
Improving outreach communications, right? Evolution of university outreach letter. Is this it?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Aaron. Okay, so that is our new message. Okay, and we're going to use that message, but of course, we're going to also improve and find ways to pivot that message. Aaron, perhaps putting a footer in the message could be a good idea. Yeah. That could be your next evolution in the innovation cycle, putting a footer. Okay, let's go back to the main topic again. All right, so Lolita has told us that we can contact a PR of the organization or contact the president of the club. Okay, a good president will at least know who to direct it to. Don't work your way from the bottom up to a club. Work your way always from the top down. Right? Talk to the person who has the greatest scope first, and then ask them for help to find it. Otherwise, generally people do not pass you up. Big important thing to learn in PR. Important, super important. Always start from the top down. Always start from the top down. Start from like the CEO, start from the board of directors, start from that first. The reason, actually, the higher you go, the more easy the conversation. This is really counterintuitive, right? You might think, oh, okay, these people are too busy. But usually, do your research to find who exactly you should target, right? Don't ask a dumb question. Don't be like, who is the person I need to contact about this? If you can find it on the website, then find it on the website, okay? But if it's not on our website, go to the top person and say, hey, look, I'm approaching with a PR inquiry. It's not on your website. Maybe you could be, and this is what I need, right? A good CEO or a good board of director or good whatever will say, thank you for finding that. I'll take care of that. And here's the person you need to talk to because you've actually discovered a weakness in their organization, okay? So always start at the very top. If they ignore you, go to the next person at the very top. People saying, okay, I'll let my manager know, will never let their managers know. Never. Okay. I've done it 100,000 times and nobody knows because they don't care. It's generally like, oh, I've got to bother my boss about some person who spammed me. Actually, just ask yourself how many times you would do that, right? Hey, Jing, I got this spam message from somebody who wanted to cooperate with us. Do you think I should, I thought you should know about that. Nobody's done that yet with me. So I'm assuming other organizations probably won't do it either. So anyways, always start from the top, right? Start from the president, start from a person who should have, if there's already a PR person, then just go there. But otherwise, if you can't find your way, start from the top. Okay, great. That's it. Okay. So we've done an exercise now together as a group, right? And we understand essentially how we would specifically target a role. Okay. We would look essentially at what kind of role we're looking for. We would do our research to find somebody who has a proof of success in that role. And then we would go back to their very beginning again. We would go back to, let's say, their origin story. Okay. What kind of clubs did they join? What university? What major? And then we would look there. Now, the rest of the work is up to you guys. Okay. So this is where you would start looking, and Furkan has a path there already. I think it's already obvious. So just go back to, let's say, the candidate tracking boards. And in the candidate tracking boards, you can read about yourself and what we've said about you, right? If you're curious, like, what did Shaylin and Jing say about me? Did they say I was an idiot during the trials? Did they say I was an almost no hire? You can read that, and it's fully transparent here, right? And you can read other people's stuff too, but please don't realize if you are in HR, you don't gossip, right, about people's private information. That's not good. Okay. Anyway, let's say you take for cons approach. You can go and you can take a look at people who have been hired. Here's Kevin. Kevin is a person we would definitely rehire. Okay, we would definitely rehire Kevin if you would have us. And you can take a look at, like, say, this list of people that we would rehire. Probably don't target people who resigned. That's generally not a good fit, right? Don't target people who were fired. That's generally not a good fit either, dismissed. So you can target people who, let's say, we would rehire, go back to the places that they came from and think about how to connect with that particular audience, okay? This is the current best practice for how we actually target and select our audiences, okay? So that's pretty much it. That is essentially the lesson in whole. The next part, like I said, is up to you guys, okay? So the next time I take a look at this, hopefully this distribution ideas will be full of new ideas from everybody, okay, as you come up with them. And then after you come up with these ideas, then go up to the active job postings and actually do the work and put it up there, okay? That's how we do outreach. And each time we do this, let's analyze what we're doing, right? See what is working, what is not working, so that we can get better with the messaging, we can get better with the timing, we can get better at picking the right audience, right? So that we actually get distributed, that people actually start talking about us, okay? This is marketing 101. This is also PR 101. This is kind of like the basics of any person who does public relations work. This is your bread and butter. Why do some people get paid more and some people get paid less? It depends on how effective you are, okay? So generally people who can find more useful result-oriented distribution, they generally have more successful careers in this, right? And if you do a lot and you don't find anything and you can't improve, that leads to generally a less successful career. You guys are starting as interns, so it's great. You're already here. We're very highly selective about the people we choose to join these teams and to gain this type of knowledge. So that's already a good thing. This is where you can make a lot of mistakes, right? Back to what I said at the all hands. Try to make as many mistakes of commission rather than omission. Okay, so if you have an idea, I would rather you just try it out, right? You want to talk to President Joko Wee, get him to distribute job posts for us through Nadim Makarim, give it a shot, right? What's the worst they can do? Tell you no, right? Or not respond to your email. But that would be a good learning experience, right? And he might not say no. He might say something else, actually. I have a pretty good idea of what he would actually say if you actually targeted the president. Don't do mistakes of omission. Don't I should have done this idea. I'm not sure. Should I not? No, I'm not going to do it. It's not safe. I might embarrass myself. Don't do that, because you learn nothing from that and you don't really develop a career. You want to come here and make as many basic mistakes as possible. So by the end of your internship, you can say, I'm effective. Here's my portfolio of magazines, of influencers, of people I have relationships with, and they love to publish whatever I give them, right? And that's why I'm useful to your organization, okay? So that gives everyone a little bit of a career purpose and a also purpose that aligns with the vision and mission of the company. If you do that, then you'll have been positively transformed. Is this work fun? Maybe. Depends on how adventurous you are. It's a little bit like hunting. Hunting is probably 90% walking around and 10% actual shooting and I don't know, maybe this generation doesn't hunt, but okay, that's an analogy. Okay, that's pretty much it. So this is the goal. We have, I think, a minimum number of distributions that we want to do. Latifa and Lolita, I'll have a sub discussion with you guys later on which campaigns you can join to start practicing the distribution, but also on some other things that we're working on as well to gain PR awareness. For everyone else, I'll stop for a moment because I'm monologuing and stop and see if there's any questions. Does anybody have any questions? Let's go to Furkan. I know you have a question, so let me go first to the ladies. Yeah, Lolita, do you have any questions?
Um, I guess not yet. I don't know if it's my connection or your connection, but I can't really hear.
Okay, then you're gonna have to go watch the video afterwards, right? Because good thing we recorded it for
Yeah.
the parts that you weren't clear on. Okay, let's go to Latifa. Latifa, do you have any questions?
So far, it's all clear, so I have no question for now.
Okay, fantastic. Let's go to Iron. Iron, do you have any questions?
So far, so good. But maybe if like there's some problem with the SLA, I think I need to discuss more with you than Mr. Jing.
Absolutely. Hit me on Slack. I'm generally most available on Slack and pretty fast on Slack too. If it's a more in-depth question, then tag me on paper, and that's where we can have more in-depth sort of thought process conversations. Okay. Furkan, do you have a question?
Yeah, actually, I'm quite having much more questions in going into the deeper material, but maybe I'll ask you later because the time is not really isn't here.
Okay.
We don't have it.
Here's the exercise then. I'm going to tag all of you guys on this. So actually, wait. First thing I'd like to do is, can everyone join this document here? Okay. I'll share this document. And what I'd like you guys to do is this. I'd like you guys to each practice doing 5 of these, right? Just going through the thought process, do 5 apiece. And then I'll get together with everybody. Today is what, Thursday? Friday. I'll get together with everybody again tomorrow to take a look at what you've practiced and how good you are at audience identification and understanding this thing. Okay, so that I know sometimes questions don't come up until you actually do the work. So we'll do the work and then we'll take a time for questions. Okay, Latifa, would you be able to schedule a time on my calendar tomorrow, Friday, to bring everybody in and we'll review how progress is on this particular audience selection?
Okay, sure. What time you prefer, sir?
Just pick any time on my calendar that isn't blocked, and that will be the perfect time.
Okay, sure.
Okay. All right. Got it. Okay. That is pretty much it. Have a good lunch, everyone. Sorry, I took a little bit overtime. And also remember, right? Use this video. Use this video because this video. Oh, wait. Let's actually qualify this video. Let's see if it's actually usable. Lolita, out of 10 points, how well would you say this video would be to give a beginner a good idea of what to do in terms of audience selection? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best.
I guess it would be 9
Okay.
or 8.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the 9. I appreciate that. Let's go to Iron. What would you give it? Okay. Let's go to Latifa.
It's perhaps 9 as well, like
Okay.
Alita.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna ask you this, right? Why isn't it a 7 and why isn't it a 10? Okay, maybe we'll go into that question later. Let's go to Furkan. Furkan, what would you give this the rating of this video instruction?
Okay. Maybe I would give this a an 8. In my case, that I'm very really enlightened with this video, and I found a new ways to how to reach out the following ups because I didn't even think about phone call. And you're right, Gen Z didn't do the phone call so much. So yeah, okay, and uh, maybe that's is why it isn't 7. And why is it isn't 10? Because for me, um, somehow there's some missing points that I noticed in the video. Maybe if you want to if you want to target the certain role, for example, like marketing manager, we shouldn't reach only one people. We should research more people, like not only one person. So maybe
Okay.
10. semacam five.
You're,
Yeah,
you're
so
absolutely
it would be
correct.
better.
Furkan, absolutely correct. That's why I opened like 7 tabs in the very beginning. But as I was going through this, I realized we don't have time to cover everybody. But the most important thing
Mm.
is just to show you what the method is. Okay. So if you see, let's say, the method, I hope you could then apply it to other cases as well. Furkan, you're absolutely right. But this is where you get more inspiration, right? So if you can do it for one person, you can keep on doing that over and over again. Let's find another person who is a growth marketing leader at an established company with a successful growth marketing program. And we can keep on doing that, right? What society did they go to? What organization did they belong to? All that, and continue that. And that gives you basically an infinite amount of targeted audience to go after, right? And that makes the whole process generally more successful. Okay, thank you, everybody. I'll upload this video and have a great lunch. I'll catch you guys later. All right, bye-bye, everyone.